Okay, everybody. So we're going to start by looking at this video from this art teacher who is talking about ancient Greece and the myths associated with ancient Greece and specifically the vases the vases from ancient Greece. So take a look at this video and then we'll talk about it afterwards. Here we go.
Hello all! Today is a sad day. It is a very sad day because this is the last of our Greek myth lesson videos. But that's okay, because we have had lots of fun learning about the Greek myths during our lesson videos and our mini lessons. If you have not watched the other ones, you are in luck because you can watch them all after this one. Today, my friends, is going to be a summary of all the myths we have learned on this Greek adventure. Can you remember them? We have Odysseus and the Cyclops, Arachne the Weaver, Theseus and the Minotaur, and lastly we have Pandora's box. Tell the person next to you which one was your favorite and remember to tell them why. I would have to say that my favorite one is Pandora's box. The last bit of the story makes me feel so happy. Even when things might be going wrong, there's always a little bit of hope. In Greece, they have a history of telling stories. The ancient Greeks would tell stories in many different ways. One way that I find very interesting are these certain vases. They are clay vases that have paintings painted on the side, and the paintings tell a story. Mostly nowadays you will find souvenir ones in shops, but you can find the real ones in some museums. These vases can come in lots of different shapes and sizes, and they can tell us a lot about the ancient Greek culture and beliefs. Because they were built to last, archaeologists and historians can find out lots about the ancient Greek culture, and they can tell us about them today. What I find quite interesting and what I like most about it are these vases are guarded and kept so secret and safe in museums. But originally they were made to be put outside houses here in Greece where they were probably fading in the Mediterranean sun. These vases tell the story of ancient Greek people. So why don't we make our own vases to tell the stories of our own lives? We're going to be using a really fun colouring and scratching technique, but I'll talk more about that later. Firstly, we need to think of some really interesting and important things that have happened in our own lives. So have a discussion now with the people next to you about some really important things that have happened to you. So what are some of the important things that have happened in your life? Maybe some of you got a new sibling, maybe some of you moved house, or maybe you went on a great big adventure. There are lots of things you could write about, and we're going to be using those important things right now. So to get started, you're going to need a piece of paper, maybe A4. If you don't have one right now, go and get one. So what I need you to do, fold the paper in half, and then fold the paper in half again. When you unfold it, you should have 4 different sections. And on those 4 sections, we're going to be drawing 4 of the important things that have happened in your lives. So you can hear some of the important things of my life and you can see what I drew. Let's go.
For me, it was the first time I went on a plane. That started my love of travelling. Secondly, it was when I won my first running race. Racing was a big part of my life when I was younger. Thirdly, it was the moment I saw my cat Jasper as a little kitten looking back at me with those big, beautiful eyes. My fourth one is when I moved overseas to London.
Of course, there are other important moments that have happened in my life, but these are the 4 that I want to choose for my vase. So I will let you start drawing now, and when you're done, I'll see you right back here. You're back. That means that you have drawn your 4 different pictures or nearly finished drawing them. Everyone's pages should look different because everyone's lives have been different and they're all unique. But now we need to put our drawings to the side because we need to make our vase as the base. So let's listen to the instructions on how to make the vase.
Step 1. Choose which shape you would like for your vase. Step 2. Draw the outline of the vase that you would like. Step 3. Colour the vase in. You can use the traditional colours or you can be creative. Step 4. Now you're going to paint over the vase with black paint. Make sure you are careful to stay in the lines. The paint works better if you mix it with a tiny bit of dishwashing liquid. Step 5. Let the paint dry. You may need to paint another layer if the first one was not thick enough. Step 6. You can start scratching away to show the undercolours. Here are some patterns that you could use for the borders. Step 7. Now there are 2 ways that you can add your pictures of your life. 1. You can scratch a big area and then draw in a black pen. Or, if you feel that you are confident enough, you can scratch the black away to create your pictures. Step 8. Have fun!
So those are the instructions, so you should all be ready to go. Just one reminder, just press lightly when you're scratching so you don't make any holes or rips in the paper. And remember to stay tuned for the mini lesson because we're going to be writing short stories to match the pictures that will be on your vase. Have fun and I'll see you in the mini lesson. Thanks for watching. Why not continue learning by clicking?
Okay, so that was a little bit about what our project is going to be. Let's take a closer look at ancient Greek vases, and maybe we can get some inspiration for our own drawings that we're going to make. Here we go.
Greek pottery tells stories. A look at pottery from ancient Greece. Who made the pottery? Well, specialized craftsmen called potters created most of the city's pots. Potters would collect the clay from the ground and mold them into different shapes, depending on what the vessel would be used for. You heard me say the word vessel. Vessel, pot, jar, vase, they all mean the same thing. This is a short video on making Greek vases. We're going to watch it together. The purpose of the pottery. Well, Greeks stored different items in there, such as wheat or olive oil and other liquids. The pottery often told stories of battles, or sometimes stories of gods and goddesses. Certain pottery was given as medals at the ancient Greek Olympics. Ancient Greek pottery used geometric shapes and patterns for decoration. Look at this one and see the patterns, the lines, the shapes that they used to decorate this. Look at the image across the center, some type of bird. Here's several geometric patterns that are commonly found on Greek pottery. You'll have a copy of these to look at while you're designing your own pottery. Here's some shapes. These are common shapes of the different Greek pots. You're going to have a choice of shape to use, whatever one you like most. Greek pottery told stories of battles. Here's Hercules attacking a centaur. Mythological creatures were very important to the ancient Greeks. If you look at these, you can notice that some of them are part human, part animal, or they're several animals combined together. They might have many tails or many heads, or wings, hoofs. Here's an ancient Greek sculpture of a centaur, hydra, pegasus. What you're going to be working on in the next few minutes is creating your own mythological creature. How is your creature going to look? Is it going to have wings or scales or fur? Will it be part human, part animal? Is it going to have one head or many heads? How many tails? What animal features would it have? Are you going to...
Okay, now that you know a little bit more about ancient Greek vases and what they're about, let's talk about it for a little bit here. Here's an example of an ancient Greek vase that we're looking at right here. Who can tell me what, who can describe what you see in this picture of this vase or vase? Go ahead and unmute. Just literally tell me what you see. Okay, for example, I see different kinds of lines. I see wavy lines, straight lines. I see pictures of some sort of bird. I see the color like brown and the color black on the vase. Okay, let's analyze this ancient Greek vase a little bit more. Now that we talked about the different parts that we can see in our vase, who can unmute and tell me what are some things that are, I know they're all different. The parts of the vase are all different, but who can tell me how are a lot of the parts of this vase the same? This is an important part of the way they decorate their vases, and we're going to include it in our designs as well, which is why we're talking about it now. So who can unmute and tell me there's something the same throughout the entire picture? They don't look the same, but there's something the same. Go ahead and unmute and tell me. Okay. For example, I see lines and shapes repeating in different areas of this vase. For example, I see this C shape repeating all the way across. I see this backwards C shape repeating all the way across. I see these vertical lines or shapes, rectangles, repeating all the way around. Same, I think these might be ovals up here, repeating all the way down here. And this is kind of like a rope pattern that goes all the way around. So by repeating, they're creating patterns that wrap around the entire vase, as well as we see the same picture repeating. Now, it's not exactly the same, so I don't think we can call it a perfect pattern, but it does repeat all the way around the vase. Okay, let's interpret what we see here on the vase. This is my favorite question when we're talking about artwork because it allows us to be a little creative and use our imagination. Okay, so let's pretend that the pictures on the vase are the cover of a book. And you're at the library and you're picking up this book and you don't know anything about it. If you had to guess, just by looking at this picture, what the book was about or the story in the book, what would it be? Who can unmute and tell me if this was the cover of a book, what do you think the story would be? Go ahead. If I were to guess, I would say maybe it takes place somewhere by water, because it kind of looks like those patterns are kind of like waves. And near the water, there might be like a family of birds of some kind, and maybe they're in line to get some sort of food or something like that, or they're talking about something. I don't know. I'm sure you can be more creative than me. Okay, so if we're going to create our own ancient Greek inspired vase, what are some of the things that we're going to have to do if we want it to look like an ancient Greek vase? What are some things we're going to have to include? Go ahead and unmute. Well, we're going to probably start by drawing the shape of a vase. So maybe I'll show you some different examples of ancient Greek vase shapes. So we know we're going to have to draw the shape of a vase. If you're not going to, maybe you have clay at home. I don't know. I don't want to tell you to make it out of clay because I don't know if everybody has clay. Or if you remember, I made the salt dough. Maybe you can do something with salt dough. I'm going to do a drawing version of this, and you're more than welcome to do use anything you want to make this project, whether it's clay or paper or whatever you want. But we're going to have to start with the shape. And then after we create the shape, we're definitely going to have to draw some patterns. And, you know, patterns, you can see the patterns wrap around the vase, and there are a lot of them. Okay, and I'll give you some examples of different patterns that they use in ancient Greece. And another thing that we can add is, remember we drew pictures of different parts of our lives that were important to us. And as you can see by looking at this vase, there's definitely some story happening in this vase, some story that has to do with birds. So you're going to need to include a picture from the 4 drawings that you made earlier with the other art teacher. Okay, so at this point, you need to organize your art supplies, figure out what you're going to use to create this project. If you're going to use what I'm using paper and pencil. You're more than welcome to do that. If you want something a little more challenging, you're going to need to go get your supplies now. Okay, go ahead and do that now. Okay, so if you haven't had a chance to fold your paper in half twice and open it up into 4 different sections, you don't really have to do that. If you haven't had a chance to do that yet, go ahead and do that now, and then draw some 4 different things in each section of your paper. If you look at mine, you can see I got a new puppy this year, so I drew my puppy. I really like fishing, so I drew a fish. I went camping over the summer, so I drew a tent by the forest. And I also love grilling, so I drew my grill over there. So if you haven't had a chance to finish those drawings, go ahead and do that now. I'll give you about a minute or so to do that. So go ahead and get your final paper ready. We will start by drawing the shape of our vase. What I like to do is I like to divide my paper in half. Turn the opacity way down. So very lightly, or if you want to draw a line down the middle of your paper like I'm doing, you can do that. If you want to just fold your paper in half and then open it back up so you have that fold line. And then choose one of the vases. I'm going to do the first one. So I'm going to start with the base, and I'm looking at that base, and it looks like an oval shape, right? Okay, I'm not going to take out a ruler and measure yours to make sure it's perfect. And then I see like a little rectangle on top of that. And then I see that long shape. You know, it starts off narrow and it comes out around and then down like that. And then when you draw on one side, try to draw the same thing on the other side. Like I said, I'm not going to get out a ruler and measure to make sure it's perfect. I mean, mine's not even perfect. And then at the top, if it's in the middle, you don't have to worry about making it the same on both sides. Just make sure, you know, it's similar. And then the two handles, they look like the letter C. So I'm just going to draw the letter C twice. You're more than welcome to draw the same vase as me, or you can choose one of your own, but go ahead and take a minute right now to start drawing the shape of your vase. Do that now. Okay, so as you can see here, I have traced my lines with a black marker and added the color brown. I'm going to make mine like the ancient Greek ones. You're more than welcome to use different colors, whatever colors you like. If you feel like you want to be more creative, I'm just sticking with the ancient Greek colors. Go ahead and trace and add colors to your vase now. If you haven't finished drawing your vase, you can continue to do that now as well. As soon as you're done drawing, start adding a solid color across your vase. Okay, so as you can see, I put up the examples of the different ancient Greek geometric patterns. You're more than welcome to make up your own. Take a few moments to add some patterns to your vase. Please leave some space open so that you can add your story to your vase. Go ahead and add patterns to your vase right now. Okay, so as you can see, I took out my 4 sketches and I added my story about fishing to the vase. Go ahead and take out your sketches and start adding your story to your vase. Go ahead and do that now. Okay, keep working on your artwork. I just wanted to say I hope you had fun learning about ancient Greek vases and starting to create your own inspired ancient Greek vase. Over the next week, continue to work on these drawings and then go ahead and add color. If you're feeling creative, if you want to add some more color, go ahead and do that as well. And don't forget to keep it in a safe place so you can bring it to class and show me and get credit for your artwork. Okay, like I said before, I hope you had fun learning about ancient Greece. I had fun working on this project with you all. And I really, really look forward to seeing you next time and to see all your amazing artworks. Otherwise, we are all out of time for today, and I will see you all next time.